11 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Monday morning, the 18th day of July, 2022. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE. We are at 90.9 FM, over the air, of course, here in San Juan County, New Mexico. 103.3 FM, over the air, once again, up in Durango, Colorado, and streaming everywhere else on planet Earth from our website, KSJE.com. We welcome our viewers who are also watching this community-supported visual radio station. The video is streaming out live this morning on the KSJE Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and our Twitter account. So we're glad that you are with us this morning, everyone. Good morning to you all. Coming up this morning, in the next few moments, my conversation about economic development with Arvin Trujillo. He is the head of ForSed, so he is here to talk about all the projects that he is working on for economic development here in the region. That's coming up in the next few moments on KSJE this morning. Then, of course, we'll have a chance to talk with Lewis Campbell from Synergy Computer Systems about technology. That's our Monday Reboot segment today at 8:50 a.m. on KSJE. Don't forget, Mick Hess is taking some well-deserved vacation this month, so he is off today at 9:06. We'll have some other great classical music on store for you then. That's coming up today, 9:06 on KSJE. We can also invite you to connect with us on our Instagram page, in addition to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. And if you're a podcast person, you can check out KSJE Podcasts wherever you listen to podcasts and maybe discover a program that you may have missed in the last few weeks or so. Weather forecast, it's going to be another hot one today and actually all week long. Outside our studios already, 73 degrees in Farmington with sunshine, on our way to a high of 99 degrees today in Farmington. A heat advisory in effect for this afternoon, so do be careful if you're going to be out in this hot weather, and do stay hydrated. 66 with partly cloudy skies overnight tonight, then tomorrow very hot, triple digits in the forecast, topping out at 100 degrees on Tuesday, 99 with sunshine, hot weather Wednesday, 99 again on Thursday, partly sunny and 100 on Friday, and maybe some scattered showers on Saturday and Sunday, but still temperatures in the mid to lower 90s for the weekend. And the rain showers just in time for the Connie Mack World Series. That always happens, so I'm not sure why I'm surprised that there's rain when Connie Mack is on the forecast and in the calendar, but we'll see how that works out. But do be careful with this very hot weather. Let me turn to my guest who is here with me this morning, as I mentioned, the head of ForSed, Four Corners Economic Development. I usually talk with Arvin Trujillo on Thursdays, but we switched things around this month, and so he's here today on a Monday. And Arvin, it's good to see you any day of the week. Good morning.
Good to see you, Scott.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. I feel welcome here, even though it's a Monday.
That's right. That's good. But lots to talk about because there's still a lot of big economic development news going on and efforts that are happening. Of course, the big thing that I wanted to ask you about that you involved me with, thank you again, was your EDGE Awards came back. A ceremony in June last month and honored 3 local companies.
Yes, it's been 11 years since we had the last awards banquet, and it was a real pleasure to bring that back. As you remember, Margaret McDaniels started that, and really was a way to showcase our local businesses and what we are doing here in San Juan County. And you know, we had 7 applicants apply for the award. It was difficult for the judges to really judge who should receive the awards, but we ended up with 3 local companies that were award winners for our EDGE Awards.
Very, very good. And the idea, I guess the things the judges were looking for in these companies was their kind of contributions to economic development in the region and just their corporate philosophy and things along that line, or what were they kind of looking for?
Yeah, and that's all within that EDGE anagram of the name. We're looking at economic development, how they participate in that within the county. We're looking for growth, companies that are growing and bringing more opportunities here into the county. And we're looking at operational excellence. You know, what are some of our companies doing and how are they progressing? And so those 3, economic development, growth, and excellence, comes up with EDGE.
There you go. See, that's how it works. And so let's talk about the 3 winners and congratulate them publicly, of course, even more so than they already were at the EDGE Award banquet back on June 16th.
Yes, we had Lagos Resources was one of our award winners, along with Sunglass, and we had Sulzer also a winner for our awards. And all 3 companies have done a tremendous job here in San Juan County. They've participated in a number of different ways to help the county also. Their employees are very dedicated to San Juan County and trying to find ways to improve different aspects of the county. So it was for me, it was a learning experience going to those companies and seeing what they do, what kind of products they provided, and really the dedication they have to their particular industry as well as to the well-being of San Juan County.
Very, very good. So Lagos, of course, I think a lot of folks know they are an oil and gas company here in the area. So
Yes.
that's Lagos. And then Sunglass, I think people probably know a little bit about them, the commercial and residential glass company, but they've been expanding, I think. They have stores now and outlets now throughout the Four Corners region, not just Farmington.
Yes, they've got outlets in Cortez, in Durango, and in Pagosa Springs. So they've really been growing and really been expanding their capabilities throughout the San Juan Basin.
Right. And then the last one that you mentioned, well, Sulzer, and so remind us what they're involved with, because they're maybe not so quite well known in the community.
Yeah, Sulzer is a service company. Again, they cater to the oil and gas companies as well as the power plants. They mainly work with motors. They work with looking at transmission capabilities. And they really service some of the major industries here in San Juan County. They're not well known, but they do tremendous service here, and their outreach not only is here within San Juan Basin, but also throughout the 4 states area. So they've done quite a bit to really enhance their operations also. They enjoy being here and located here in San Juan County. But Joe Day, who leads that company, really has done a lot to really get his company and his folks involved. They're very involved in the baseball aspects here in Connie Mac and Little League and et cetera. And so, again, it was a learning experience for me just seeing what they do there. And they're located up on Harper Hill on Troy King Road.
Okay, very good. Well, and a learning experience for me, too. And that's what I remember about the old Edge Awards, if you will, from 11 or so years ago, was I always went to the banquet and learned more about some of these companies that were in our community, maybe just under the radar, and we didn't always hear about them, but all this interesting work that they are doing and the markets that they have and maybe some of the international customers that they have from right here in Little San Juan County. And I don't think we always realize the impact that some of these businesses have in foreign markets as well as domestic markets, too.
You know, that was one of the things that I really learned and really saw what these companies are doing, how they are providing a lot of positive notoriety for the county here. And it's just a matter of continuing, as we identify these companies, really partnering with them to see what can we do to further enhance our message or our market out there to not only the general region here, but the U.S. and the world. And so, again, really positive banquet. I want to thank you for coming and joining us and being a part of it. We had about 80 people for this first session. We expect our banquet to continue to grow. And a lot of it was a learning experience for us. We kind of jumped into this and kind of looked to some of those who used to run the Edge Awards to see how it was done before. We put our little stamp of Four Corners Economic Development on that in terms of how we wanted to proceed. So it was a good learning experience, and we're we will be having future ones every year, and we're looking to really have the community come and join us at these banquets. They're really fun, tremendous networking opportunity, but more importantly, it gets people an opportunity to see what other companies are doing. And so, again, that's a real benefit.
Right. Well, and again, celebrate their contributions in so many different ways to the economic development of the area.
Exactly.
So that's what we're talking about. And I have to point out that the last time the Edge Awards were held was a whole different organization. That was the old San Juan Economic Development Service, right?
That's right. When
Margaret McDaniel was in charge of that.
Running, yes.
So it's been a long time.
It has.
So there you are. You had another event. You had a busy month of June, it seems like, because we're going to talk about a number of different things that you had going on. A big panel event on kind of the impacts of the war in Ukraine to the San Juan Basin. A lot of folks may wonder what those are because maybe they're not, again, apparent, but there may be some impacts, again, with fuel prices, energy prices, and things along that line. You had a lot of guests that certainly know their stuff that were talking about this. So talk to me a little bit about that panel.
Yeah, we were looking at really, kind of a business update as well as opportunities coming here to San Juan County. We had Dr. Daniel Fine, who's affiliated with MIT and the National Labs. We had John Byram with PESCO, and we had Chris Hunter with Cornerstone, looking at the Ukrainian war, looking at manufacturing and the hydrogen reactor opportunities that are on the horizon, and then looking at the hydrogen hub as a whole. And so Dr. Fine gave a really good presentation looking at the Ukrainian war. And what he was talking about was the fact that it's a regional war right now, but it could become international. But you were already seeing impacts with that, with the European Union making policy decisions not to purchase natural gas and oil from Russia. But they still need those energy components for their companies and their countries. So they're beginning to look at the United States. And more importantly, as they begin to look at the United States, we have the Permian Basin here, we got the San Juan Basin here. So he's beginning to look at those connections and saying, here are ways maybe that we might be able to take advantage of that to help our allies in the European front, but also helping our own businesses and our own business development here in the San Juan Basin.
Gotcha. Okay, very good. And he is well known for his insights into the energy industries, correct, Dr. Fine?
That's right. I mean, he's worked under President Bush for a number of years as a consultant through the U.S. Department of Energy. He's also, like I said, he's well known for his knowledge, especially in the oil and gas areas. And again, he's been tapped for different presentations looking at that particular area. And so again, he sees that opportunity, and that coupled with the fact that PESCO now continues its effort in the development of a hydrogen reactor, working with biotech, and really enhancing their manufacturing capabilities, and they're seeing real opportunities beginning to arise from that. And so we're looking at how we can best support PESCO as they move forward. And one of those ways is really looking at the Hydrogen Hub initiative that the U.S. Department of Energy is working on. And we spoke about that a few times here.
Right.
That work is continuing. Again, looking at an alternative to fossil fuels as a source of energy. Looking at the development of fuel cells that are that have much more horsepower behind it than electrical cells. And so again, here are opportunities again arising for us to really begin to explore the possibilities of getting a hydrogen hub here, working with New Mexico State University to achieve that, and working with the state of New Mexico as a whole. And so we're planning on having other discussions coming forward in the near future as we start pulling things together concerning the hydrogen hub. So it was quite an interesting panel discussion. You can find it on our website, www.fourcornersed.com.
There you go. Right.
I'm losing it here.
That's
now.
okay. It's Monday. See, that's why. It's the number 4 corners,
right.
ed written out .com. That's how
right.
you can find it, everyone. But that's good. And I do have to point out though that there are some critics about the hydrogen hub idea, and there's 2 different types of hydrogen, right? There's the green hydrogen and the blue hydrogen.
That's correct.
That we keep hearing about. And just so the audience is with us, because they're going to hear it, I think, moving forward more and more. The blue hydrogen is derived from maybe natural gas, and natural gas is used in the production of that. The green hydrogen is not using natural gas, and it's a different process. And so
right.
both are being talked about in New Mexico. The idea, I think, that you've talked about here would be we have all this natural gas. Why not use it for the creation of this hydrogen? Whether or not that's an energy efficient way to do that is above my pay grade, but maybe there's someone we can get on the show that would explain it to me. But anyway, that's what we're talking about, right?
That's exactly right. But again, There are efficiency questions concerning that particular process, looking at the natural gas. But again, people got to understand what's the end game here. The end game here isn't really looking at the cost of producing that particular item. The end game is producing an energy source that does not emit carbon dioxide. That's the end game. And so again, looking at that, that's what we're focusing on right now is how do we transition? Eventually, maybe we get to the green hydrogen process where it's completely electrolysis that we're able to generate hydrogen from, but we're not there yet. But we have a way to begin to transition that and begin to generate hydrogen in quantities that can be utilized looking to the future. So again, a lot of debate on that. We're more than willing to have continued discussions. And again, the idea here is to inform our public so that people understand here are the decisions that we need to be making. Here's the direction we would like to go. And this is why. We don't really have anything to hide. It's a matter of us coming together to say, what opportunities are there here for the San Juan Basin, and how can we go together to achieve those? Because we won't achieve economic diversity here in the county by ourselves. We have to go at this together, and so that's what we're looking at.
Right, and I would predict, and I think I'm pretty good, at least for this prediction, that we're going to hear more about hydrogen from the state legislature in Santa Fe in 2023. Wouldn't you agree?
I think so.
That's a pretty easy bet to make.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. There's still a lot of movement happening on that particular issue, and right now there's a lot of discussion about that, especially during this interim period. There's been a number of presentations being given to different interim committees, and so I agree with you that that's going to be one of the major subjects on this coming up legislative session.
Right. We saw several bills introduced last session, and they didn't pass, and so I was kind of surprised because that was one of the governor's things. I think she was very supportive of this hydrogen initiative, and so I imagine that they're working behind the scenes to see what type of bill the legislature might find more attractive than last time and get more support.
Yeah.
This time around, we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Whether they pass or not, I'm not predicting that. I'm just predicting they're going to introduce the bills
Yeah.
again, and we'll see what happens. So,
Right.
So there you go. Last thing on our list to talk about this morning was your annual meeting held just not too long ago, just last week, right? And another good turnout and a little update on the abilities and the activities aforesaid.
Yes, we had a really good turnout at our annual meeting. We had government folks, government officials there. We had our high school and college education officers there. We had the municipalities present. We had business owners there. We had state officials from the Department of Economic Development Department there. We even had EDOs out of Southeast Utah come down to hear what we're doing. And what we did is we gave a full rundown on what we did this past year, and I've gone through that. We will put those slide decks up on our website that you can view. We've done a lot in terms of really moving our efforts forward. The other thing that we did is we kind of did a summary on our strategic outlook, looking at 22 and 23. And again, there, we're going to continue our goal teams development. We're going to continue our business retention and expansion efforts. We've got Lepke and Associates coming in to help us define our target areas and what we can do there. We'll be continuing that, our partnerships with Next Sites to look at retail gaps in all our different municipalities and looking at that piece of it. Workforce development, we're looking at our efforts to continue our Desk to Careers program, working with the schools and with local businesses to develop curriculum, starting in middle school and working up so that by the time individuals graduate high school or even go for a couple years here at San Juan College, they are then in the position to be hired, and they have the knowledge base in order to really look at this point we're focusing on IT jobs. Mm-hmm. And so these are some of the areas that we're focusing on right now. We're really excited that the coming year we elected new officers for our board. And I think one thing I'd like to do is bring maybe our our new chair and vice chair
Yes.
to the meeting. That's Jeremiah Hayes with Jane's Corporation and Vince Moffitt with Basin Health. There are our two, our chairman and our vice chairman. I'd like to bring them on to just give you an update on what they're looking at and what they're seeing in terms of the organization moving forward. We've just got a lot of good things happening right now, and it turned out to be a really good turnout. We were able to do a lot of networking as we were moving forward on those discussions during the meeting. But one big thing, too, is that the Deputy Secretary for the Economic Development Department for New Mexico was here for that, but he also had a chance to meet different individuals. He went on a tour of PESCO. So he was here the full day, which was really, really great to have him here. He was educated on exactly what we're doing here in San Juan County, and he hopes to come back to visit more counties. And again, we got 3 companies there listed from our Edge Awards that he could go see. And so again, we're really looking forward to really continuing our marketing efforts with Forcent.
Very good, very good. You've got another event you're planning for next month, actually, right? Early August, so maybe having another briefing for the community to come and maybe learn about a different segment of economic development that you're putting that together, I think, right now.
Yes.
But what are your thoughts about a topic for that meeting?
We're looking probably at the second week of August. Once we get everything confirmed, we'll get that information out. But we're hoping to bring in the new CEO for NTEC, Navajo Transitional Energy Company, to have him come in and introduce himself to the community, because Navajo Mine is such a large economic driver here in the region here. To have NTEC come in and talk about what they're looking at in the future, it gives an opportunity for the new CEO to introduce himself to the community. So we'll get that information out, and I would really like to invite the community to come and meet the new CEO. You know, I can't remember what his name was right off the bat, but we'll have all that information together.
You're working on it. He's new.
Yes.
He's new, so that's understandable. And, of course, NTEC has made a pretty big investment by buying the Navajo mine several years ago, right, to keep that going. There's ongoing conversations about the power plant. APS, of course, has said that they want to get out of the coal business by 2032, I believe.
2031.
2031. I gave him an extra year. And so, you know, I think that has maybe sparked some interest from NTEC or maybe some others about that plant and what happened to it. Certainly, we're watching on another subject, the San Juan Generating Station later on this year. Now extended life until September to finally close down the final unit of that plant and shut down, I guess, the associated mine, because that's their only customer. And so there's another whole transition going on there. People are watching the Enchant Energy project as well to see if they have their ducks in a row and are able to maybe not let that happen. Who knows? But we'll see. But all these things are happening right here in San Juan County.
Yes, and again, we're there supporting Enchant's efforts to move that initiative forward to keep San Juan Generating Station open. And so that's one area that we've got going. But it's going to be very interesting to see what's NTEC looking at in the future, and how do they perceive this area, as well as they own other properties up in Wyoming. And so again, what are they looking at going into the future?
And they're mining properties, aren't they, in Wyoming? Yeah.
Yes, up in Wyoming. And so again, we're looking to see what the new administration is going to be looking at with NTEC. And possibly how we might be able to assist them, because again, they too are interested in our efforts to get rail here to San Juan County. And so again, are there opportunities there that may arise for them? So again, we're open to a lot of different things. We're in discussions with a lot of different people at this point, and the goal here is to see what these opportunities are and see if we can find something that we can land here in the future.
Right. And NTEC is a unique company because it is part of the Navajo Nation, but it's kind of an enterprise of the Navajo Nation, is it not? So it's tribally connected, yet it's kind of on its own to kind of do its own thing, yet with some tribal oversight. And I probably explained that horribly, but maybe, hopefully I got it partially right.
Right. They are an enterprise of the Navajo Nation. They have their own board of directors, but they do have the resources, one of the standing committees of the Navajo Nation, the Resources and Development Committee. They do have oversight over that particular organization. And so again, it's somewhat of a complex relationship that they have with the Navajo Nation, but they are part of the nation, and their goal is to really help find ways to support the nation as an industrial unit. And so again, they're looking at one of the resources of the Navajo Nation and how can they best utilize those resources for the benefit of the Navajo Nation. And as they become successful and continue to see success, we here in San Juan County also see success because of that. And so again, we're really interested to see what the new CEO has to say, and also to meet him and introduce ourselves also to him.
Right. Very good. And one final thought before we go, Arvin Trujillo. We can't get together, you and I, without talking about the railroad project. And so you mentioned it earlier that NTEC is interested in rail coming in and out of this area. We've talked about the rail project, the big grant that was awarded to San Juan County and the Navajo Nation and all these entities that are working together. And that is ongoing. We haven't seen much about that, but there's still a lot of back and forth, I guess, between the grantors and the grantees about how things are going. But can you give us an update on that? Just people are going back and forth with more requests for information and things like that.
Sure, we have a contractor in place right now, HDR Inc., an engineering firm who has a lot of experience in green rail development. They've been helping us finalize the work plans that we want to follow, looking at the logistical aspects. That means getting the route determined. Where's the transloading location going to be here in the southern portion of the rail? Where do we tie in to the I-40 corridor? All of that, and then looking at the environmental aspects, the cost, all of those things are part of the logistic plan. And then we have an outreach plan, because communities along the way and here in San Juan County as well as in McKinley have questions about that rail and wondering what it will entail. So we're looking at a communications plan also to make sure that we inform communities, we inform appropriate government entities, etc., as we move forward and continue with that process with the rail piece. These two plans right now are being reviewed by the Federal Railroad Administration, who's the administrator for the $2 million grant. And so they are making sure everything's in place. We've been kind of going back and forth, looking at ways that we've explained things, changes they would like to see, negotiating with them to come up with a final plan that we will follow in meeting this feasibility study. We're hoping to get this done this month so that we can get going. We have all our people in place, ready to go, and we've got a strong partnership with the Navajo Nation, the San Juan County, and also with our contractor, HDR. Mike Start is leading things for the county. Vice President Lizer is leading things for the Navajo Nation, and a gentleman by the name of Kevin Keller is the head project manager for the rail project with HDR. So we're getting everything together. It's a matter, once we get this approval from the Federal Railroad Administration, we'll start moving this whole effort forward.
Gotcha. You're not concerned about the delays or anything like that, or the back and forth? That's a normal part of a project of this magnitude?
Yes. I mean, we want to make sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And so this way, again, we're following everything. We're in compliance with everything that's in place, so that, again, the idea here is to have a good project, to have a good review. At the end of the day, everybody looks back and says, here's what the results are, and here's the decision as a result of the study that was done. And so, again, we just want to make sure that everything's above board, everything is being followed, and we're complying with all the necessary guidelines and regulations that are in place right now.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, Arvin, we are out of time, but I always appreciate you coming in and sharing all your efforts with us from Four Corners Economic Development, all the things that are coming up. And, of course, again, the website is the number 4 and then rideoutcornersed.com, and folks can find all the information that we've been talking about. The videos of some of the events that we've been talking about are also posted there. The website, of course, which has won awards for all the data that it has available. So all those things, you kind of get lost in that website for a while if you really aren't careful. But there's a lot of good information about all the communities that make up the Four Corners. So thanks for coming in this morning.
You bet, Scott. It's good to be here.
Good to see you. Arvin Trujillo, we'll see you again next month. My guest from Four Corners Economic Development with me here on KSJE. KSJE is supported by Music in the Mountains, a world-class classical music festival based in Durango, Colorado, offering orchestra, chamber, and world music concerts July 7th through July 31st. This year, the concerts come to you with free mobile stage performances in the region, plus other unique venues throughout the area. Find out more at musicinthemountains.com. KSJE and San Juan College present the Student Success Coaching Tip of the Week.
Hello again, this is Emin Chi from the Student Achievement Center bringing you coaching tips over the radio for week 7. This is all about study. Knowing how to read a textbook, taking notes in class, and using the library are all areas that will help you be more successful in the classroom. Setting up specific times in a day or during the week to study primes your brain by creating a routine, and over time, studying actually becomes easier as your brain is trained to learn in those moments. Research shows that having a designated spot for study that is well equipped with every tool you might need is best, as this too primes your brain for studying. Encouraging friends to study with you can make everything more fun and productive. Studying together in person can help you hold each other accountable too. Teaching a friend, family member, or even your pet the material is a great way to see how well you know it. When you explain it to someone else, you'll have a better grasp of which information you already have mastered and which information you will need to study.
The Student Success Coaching Tip of the Week, presented by KSJE and the Student Achievement Center at San Juan College.
A new way to treat pain without medicine. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace Tech. I'm Kimberly Adams.
Marketplace Tech is supported by Progressive. Progressive Commercial Insurance offers personalized rates and customizable coverages for your business vehicles. More at progressivecommercial.com. And by Angie, dedicated to helping homeowners care for their home from repair to remodel. Reviews, booking, and more at Angie.com or on the Angie app.
At some point or